Hi guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. In this video we've got a bit of an emergency announcement. Honestly, this stuff kind of feels a bit like Groundhog Day. Every time there's something tax related with this Labour government, we just don't know what's going to happen. There's snippets, released, leaked, whatever you want to call it, here and there. But ultimately, for anybody watching this, you're wealthy or relatively wealthy. These tax changes, they hit everybody. Essentially, anybody earning more than 30, 40, I think they even saw something over £45,000 Rachel Thieves is coming for you. So when we use the word wealthy, who's impacted by the Labour government? It's literally anybody from who's on a modest £50,000 a year income, salary, business profits, property income, all the way up to the multi-millionaires and the billionaires who actually are the genuinely wealthy people. They've got more money than they need, rather than the people that are just running their own business, working all day, every day for a decent living for them and their family. But back to the point here, what we're talking about here is a bit of an emergency announcement. So when it comes to this exit tax, a lot of people watching this are either based overseas, or a lot of you guys are actually based in the UK, but you're looking at going overseas at some point in the future. You're working on your exit strategy. However, as we've seen here, there is speculation, there are rumours, announcements, leaks, whatever you want to call it. Usually with budgets, they kind of put a little bit of stuff out there just to see how people react. And then if that's relatively positively, then they actually might go ahead and enact that as part of the autumn budget. But what we're looking at here is a 20% potential exit tax. So it's completely unclear as to what threshold this might be, whether it's over £1 million, or there might be no threshold at all. What assets it applies to, whether it's kind of overseas property, whether it's UK-based assets, whether it's crypto gains, we don't know. But what we do know is it's cause for alarm and it's cause for concern, because if you're looking at moving overseas, say, a lot of people, when you move overseas, it makes sense to align things with a tax year just because it makes your life easier. However, that doesn't help us with the autumn budget at the end of November, because actually you've got a few months yet. If you are looking at moving overseas and you do have decent wealth, or actually so much so that a 20% exit tax would be crippling or probably make it unfeasible to move overseas. A lot of our clients will actually move overseas, but they might not be cash rich. They might have a decent income from their business, but you've got to sell it. You've actually got to sell your business to get that money. You can't just stomach a 20% hit in most cases. But if you do fall into that camp, my advice now is look to basically secure your exit. So we don't know exactly how this will apply, and indeed, fingers crossed, it doesn't apply. But one thing we do know about Labour in this government is that they go against what is common sense, what is actually good for the UK economy, and everyone seems to be that anyone who's got a little bit of money has a target on their back. So if you are looking at leaving the UK anytime soon, my advice would be to expedite the process. Because if you can set up a company, if you can get a job offer, if you can get an overseas accommodation, that should be enough for you to cut ties with the UK right now. As soon as you do that, it basically qualifies being non-resident under the split year. Because if there is an exit tax introduced, it won't be retrospective, because they can't really do that. But what it might be is enacted at the date of the budget. So anybody from that date onwards moving forward, as soon as it's announced, it applies to you. So you need to take the precautionary steps where you can to make sure that you can demonstrate that your intention is to move overseas. You've already got a job offer. Ideally, if you can, get overseas now. If you are looking at relocating come April, it might be prudent just to get over here, get your company set up, get your visa, wait in Dubai, actually start working here, living here. If it's not as bad as we think come November, okay, fantastic, you're in a position to go back to the UK. But in that case, it might be quite inconvenient you doing that in a couple of weeks' notice. But at least that way, should this exit tax be introduced, you've covered your bases and you should, touch wood, have avoided this exit tax. What else is potentially coming in the budget? Well, we've seen national insurance potentially on landlords' profits. We've seen partners of LLPs potentially paying 15% employers' national insurance. Overall, it's like I mentioned at the start of the video, it really is Groundhog Day with this government, because when I first started out with Conservatives, there used to be a little bit of tax breaks here and there, allowances were rising. It was a little bit better than the picture today, but actually when we've got the autumn budget now, it's literally just the whole census, the whole feeling is just pure tax rises across the board, and it's okay, how bad am I going to come out of this? So we don't know what's going to happen. It's definitely worth saying that, because I could say there's an exit tax coming and bang on about this, but like a lot of people say, a broken clock's right twice a day. But there's probably more meat on the bone than there ever has been, because of course we were talking about it before when Labour first got in and their spring statement then. But now there's more out there. There's potential 20% taxes. They're leaking a little bit more. And we know the state of the UK. We know that most people, if they can, they actually are leaving the UK. Labour are aware of this. So they want to trap people in the country with this exit tax. What do you guys think's coming up in the budget? Let me know in the comments. Are you looking forward to it? Do you think there should be an exit tax? Hopefully most people watching this are against it. You're here to save tax and build wealth. But what do you think should be coming in the budget? Are you a fan of Rachel Reeves? Are you a fan of what's going on in the UK at the minute? Are you looking at moving overseas? It's worth mentioning here, if you do want to leave the UK and you want to work with us to do this, whether that's through the tax advice, links to setting up companies, getting visas, bank accounts here in Dubai, at the moment we're at capacity in terms of working one-to-one with high net worth clients. But what we have done, and it's more important, we've done this in light of the budget really, is we've put together our online course and packaged that with a tax consultation as well. So it is a complete solution when it comes to you and what you need in relocating overseas. You access training resources, templates, documents, calculators, everything you need to fully understand the UK tax system and actually plan and get set up in Dubai or somewhere else. And then to make sure that nothing is missed, you get a one-to-one consultation with me as well. We're going to run through your circumstances, build your tax strategy and answer any questions you've got. If you want to find out more about that, do just click the link in the top of the description in the comments there. Otherwise, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.